Hey everyone, this is Naturally Niece, and I decided to upload a new video. And what better way to let you get to know me better than by drawing my life? It all started on an island of the Caribbean called the Dominican Republic. There, a young, handsome man met this beautiful young woman and fell in love. They had dreams of a brighter future and decided to migrate to America. Their first stop, New York. I guess New York was a little bit too much for my mom, and she would get depressed and very sad because she missed home. So my dad and my mom decided to move to Connecticut. I guess it was a little bit more country for them back then. Here is where my brother, my sister, and myself were born. I'm the middle child. My name is Denise, and my dad nicknamed me Niece, and that stuck ever since. My parents didn't know any English, so Spanish was the only thing that we spoke in the house. I actually learned English by watching Sesame Street. I can actually remember my first words. I grew up in a home that was very loving, strict, and patriotic. Christian faith and Dominican history were a very big part of my upbringing. Out of the three siblings, I was the jokester. I was always impersonating someone or being a clown. I just loved making people laugh. I also loved to draw. My dad was actually the first artist I knew. Growing up, I always knew what I wanted to be. I used to love to play school with my sister and my cousins and assign them work. I would actually put them in the closet if they didn't complete it or if they were misbehaving. I don't think they liked that very much. A time in my life that wasn't so fun. I was very self-conscious about my smile, and I would put my hands in front of my mouth anytime that I laughed because I was afraid that people would see my gap. In reality, they were actually making fun of my lips because I had big lips, which kind of changed in high school when the show Martin came out. Then everyone was okay with it. School was my favorite place to be. I was actually really good in school. My favorite subjects were English and math. High school was the favorite time of my life, all-time fave. I have so many stories and things that happened to me in high school. I would probably make this video longer, and I guess, In high school, I was very active and I did a lot of after-school activities. I was in the poetry club, I was in the yearbook committee, I also was in the senior play. Yeah, I played basketball, ran track, volleyball, and I tried to play softball, but that didn't last too long. I was very social and had a lot of friends from different walks of life. After graduation, I decided to stay home and go to a college at a campus nearby. My mom wasn't ready to let me go on my own, so I just attended classes and had a job at our local Marshall's department store. 2 years later, I decided to go to a Christian college in Massachusetts. I actually played basketball there and met a lot of friends that remain my friends till this day. While on the basketball team, we would travel with the men's team, and I met a special person. We became best friends and fell in love. We dated for several years and then got engaged and got married. We actually had a destination wedding in Dominican Republic. I was now married, teaching high school math, and life was great. Life up to this point was far from perfect, but it was ideal. For some strange reason, I always felt that I hadn't experienced real hardships and that maybe it was my turn. 2 years later, we found out we were pregnant, and I was very scared, and I felt that I wasn't ready and I wouldn't be a good mother. I was now 5 months, and it was time to find out the sex of the baby, so we went to my appointment. My husband stayed in the waiting room while the tech performed the sonogram. I actually played this game in my head, naming all the baby parts to see if I would get them all correct, and I did. But for some strange reason, the tech kept taking pictures of the baby's head. Um, when it was time to find out the sex of the baby, to our dismay, she had her legs crossed. I say she because I always felt that it was a girl. On our way home from the appointment, we got the call from our doctor letting us know that the baby had excess fluid in the brain and diagnosed with a rare disease. They suggested that we terminate pregnancy. This was a time in my life when my faith was really tested. I cried and prayed and pleaded with God to heal our baby, but in my heart I was really unsure of the outcome. 1 week later from the sonogram, I went to work and I actually started to feel sharp pains. That night I woke up out of my sleep and I didn't know it then, but I was having contractions. To make this story short, I went into premature labor and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. We named her Zaya. Although she only lived for 20 minutes, those were the most precious 20 minutes of my life. I held her till her little heart stopped beating. It was a joy to hold her, and somehow I was relieved that she wouldn't have to suffer. We buried her several days later, and although it was a tragic event, I was blessed to have met her. Life continued, and we got a dog to fill my mommy void. I got pregnant again 2 years later, but miscarried. I was at a point in my life where I felt that being a mom would just not happen for me, so I threw myself into work, photography, friends and family, and of course YouTube. Through it all, I held on to my faith, and I knew God had a plan. I knew that if He willed it, it would happen. All I had to do was believe. My faith strengthened my belief, which helped with my journey, which turned into our journey. Yeah, that's what we named her, Journey. In 2011, we were blessed with a miracle, a beautiful, healthy baby girl, my little mini-me. And I guess you can say life is still being drawn.